film that often we, as a society, we tend to concentrate all our wealth, our resources towards cities, and completely forget about the villages and rural parts of our country where the bulk of our population lives. And so this is a film really to sensitize all of us.
Do you think it's going to reach to the right people whom you want them to reach?
Well, I think so. The film is released in India and it's done really well. I mean, in the sense that people have really reacted well to the film. We got, yeah.
There has been quite a lot of movies where they have showed problems to the people, but nothing has changed.
You think so? Well, I think Tare Zameen Par and Three Idiots is an example where these are two films where a lot has changed. I think these two films on education have changed the way we look at our children. Rang De Basanti is another example. Yes, you're right. These two films have changed the way we look at children. It's changed the way kids feel about themselves. It's changed the way that the education system looks at children and education. Government policy has changed towards education in India. So I don't know what more we can do.
I think it would be great. Like a lot of people and farmers are dying, and if at the end, if we see that it's having some effect, and at the end it's our people, it's Indians. So
yeah, but I hope so.
I hope so. We also hope so, actually.
Yeah.
पहले तो मैं आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ कि आप इतने दूर यहाँ पे आके.
Just one second. Does everybody over here understand Hindi? Yeah. Anyone who doesn't understand Hindi?
Yeah.
Okay, there's one person who doesn't understand Hindi. So I think, do you speak English, sir?
Not very well.
Not very well. But speak not well. All is well. No, I mean, I'd be happy to speak in Hindi, but I just feel that, it's just...
Yeah, I just want to, because something related to the film. Actually, I saw the lots of movie which is on the farmer suicide story in Marathi also, like the Gabritsa Paus and the Ghost of Chota Dongravdi and the recently Jing Jing Jing. Every movie puts some message after. But I'm a little bit confused of what should I get from this movie, because...
Right. It doesn't have a conclusive end.
Yeah,
it doesn't give you any solutions.
Because all are the problems over there. क्योंकि मीडिया के बारे में बताया गया है कि मीडिया एक छोटी सी चीज को बहुत मीडिया सॉरी लेकिन मुझे हिंदी में अच्छा एक्सप्लेन करते आएगा इसलिए मैं सॉरी.
Okay, I got your question and let me answer it. So he wants to know, why this film doesn't have solutions offered while other films may have. What's your name, sir?
Umesh. Don't call me sir. I have
Please sit, Umesh. Umesh, the thing is that we are used to watching films. Most of the films coming out of Indian cinema are films which offer solutions. They tell you about the problem and they offer you a solution. We are not used to watching films which actually don't offer solutions, and they only shed or put a spotlight on the problem, and they force you to think of the solution. They force all of us to think of the solution. I think one of the reasons that Anusha did not, the writer and director Anusha, did not want to have, a proper conclusion or offer any solutions is because she did not want the audience to go home satisfied. She did not want the audience to feel that, okay, here's the problem, here's the solution, film's over, everything's fine, I'm going home. She wanted you to feel, so what's the solution? That's exactly what you're feeling right now. You're feeling irritated. You're feeling like, you want the solution. That's exactly what she wanted you to feel. Because if you get a solution, you probably go home and go to sleep. But when you don't get a solution, you start thinking, and you start feeling that what is the solution, and you're provoked into, applying yourself to that. So that's why. And actually, the thing is that dramatically and historically in our films, we are not used to watching films which don't have definite ends, and this is one film which doesn't have a definite end. It leaves you with what has happened and lets you decide what is right, what is wrong. It doesn't even make any judgments, mind you. A film like Three Idiots tells you that Rancho is right and Chatur is wrong. It's clearly the director is telling you that he's taking sides. He's on the side of Rancho. He's telling you that Raju and Farhan are right and Virus is wrong. This film is not doing that. On a certain level, this film is also about survival. It shows you how each one of us does, or we end up doing what we feel we need to do in order to survive in our circumstances. So whether it's the media person, the politician, the bureaucrat, Budhiya, the farmer, when he sets up Natha and gets him to agree to commit suicide, he's also doing what he thinks he needs to do. in order to survive in his circumstances. So on a certain level, this film is about survival as well. So that's why it's left unfinished. I mean, doesn't have a conclusive end, does not give you the solutions. That's something that was thought of and planned. It was not by accident. Yeah.
Thank you. Please. Did you guys have the same vision? Were you in sync throughout, or did you have, as a producer, how much creative differences you had with her? My second question is about this film does not have typical dance numbers, which is quite encouraging, and it is entertaining as well. Don't you think after this film, considering this is doing well as well, not having a big cast,
Yeah.
don't you think this is the kind of filmmaking now Indian film industry should move on to? And lastly, how is this film doing? How is this film doing in international circuits?
Yeah.
Because probably this is the sort of film that would put India, the real India, in front of other.
Yeah. Well, okay, I forgot your first question. I remember now. Okay, so this is a film that is Anusha's film, and this is her voice, and I've tried to support it. So my involvement has been that of a producer, and I was helping her in the prep. I was not there at all during the shooting, and I was helping her in the post-production, in the editing, etc., and in the release of the film. So I've actually done the work of a producer. She's the one who's written the film. She's the one who's directed it. Your second question was?
It does not have dance numbers.
It doesn't have dance numbers. So therefore, so will people, and you liked it. You found it entertaining, and you still liked it, and you're hoping that more filmmakers do that. Well, I agree with you. I think that there are so many ways that we can entertain our audiences, and we don't have to be within the confines of what the old rules of Indian cinema are, and we can actually break out of them. I think films like Rang De Basanti do just that, or That Is an Evil. These are not conventional mainstream films, but they have become mainstream because everyone loved them. So films like this indicate to us that audiences are changing. You guys want to watch different kinds of films and are open to watching different kinds of films. And a success of a film like this will encourage filmmakers to think out of the box, think differently. And your third question? Internationally, what we're hoping? Well, I'm hoping that you guys have liked the film, and you go and tell all of your friends who may not be Indians and who may have never seen a film coming out of India.
How is it doing in festivals?
It's done really well at festivals. It was the first film from India to be selected at the Sundance Film Festival, the competition section. They have about 2,000 films coming in, and they select 15 out of 2,000. So to get selected in Sundance is not easy in the competition section. Have an immediate and definite impact like That Is an Evil has had, or Three Idiots has had, where actually a lot of changes happen in society. But I think every film which has a positive impact does leave a mark on us, and somewhere it stays with us, and then somewhere down the line we see everything around us influences us. So you're influenced by a lot of good things, you're influenced by a lot of bad things, but somewhere along that comes out of us at some point. So I think that, I'm hoping that it will in fact have an impact. And importantly, we shouldn't always look towards politicians, and say, and blame them. They're one of us. Yeah, no, I'm explaining. I'm not saying you're blaming them, but I'm saying to say that, will the MPs change and will it become different? The question you should ask is, will we change? Because the MPs are one of us. They haven't come from Mars and Jupiter, and we've selected them. So we have to remember that. So what you have to ask yourself is, will we change? Because when we change, then things will change. Yeah. Second question. I forgot what it was. After Gajni, and my memory is really letting me down. Well, I think beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. What you don't know is that I've been to the Golapudi Awards. Do you know what that is?
I know.
Okay, let me tell you about it. Yeah, you know, but let me tell you about it. So, my answer to the question really to you, sir, and to you, ma'am, is that I go to award ceremonies where I have value for the platform that is honoring me. And I feel honored, and I feel like going there and saying thank you. I should feel like saying thank you. So I need to have respect and value for that award. And there is an organization called the Golapudi Foundation, which is in Chennai. It's a very small organization. The award ceremony is not telecast live. on national television. They have only one award. They don't give 20 awards and 30 awards to everyone who arrives. A lot of the directors that I signed up with at that time, their sensibility was just different from mine. And I was new, and I was confused, and I was really unhappy. And at that time, I made a promise to myself. I said to myself that no matter what happens, doesn't matter if I'm out of the industry or my career comes to an end, I'm never going to do a film unless I'm happy doing it. And my films began releasing, they started flopping, and my career was going down. And I was at the worst of my career. It's very early in my career. I was called the one film wonder, and rightly so. And then I got an offer from Mr. Mahesh Bhatt, who was at the peak of his career. He had made Arth, Saransh, Naam, very successful films. And I was so thrilled to get this phone call because I thought, I felt I was in quicksand, and the quicksand was like here, and I had a couple of minutes left and then I would go under. And I needed someone to pull me out, and this was the person who could potentially pull me out. So I went to meet him, and he narrated the script to me, and I didn't like it. And I was like, I don't believe this is happening to me. Because the one guy that I really want to work with at this point of time, and someone who can actually, just the announcement that I've signed a film with Mahesh Bhatt at that point, would have been such a boost to my career. So his hand was reaching out to me to pull me out of the quicksand, and I had to just put my hand out and grab it. But I had promised myself that I'll never do a film if I'm not happy. So that night I went back home and I was in a dilemma. I didn't know what to do. Should I do the smart thing and say yes to him? Should I follow my heart and say no to him? So I went and met him the next day, and I told him that I really want to work with him. And I have the highest regard for him. But unfortunately, the script hasn't excited me, and I can't do the film. And it was very difficult for me to do that. It took a lot of strength and courage for me to actually say those words. They weren't coming out. I was like, I'm committing suicide. And what if I don't get any other offer which is of any value? So I was really stressed. But today when I look back, I realized that if had I compromised that day with what I believed in, then I would have probably been compromising all my life. And you wouldn't have seen films like Lagan or Three Idiots or Tare Zameen Par or Rang De Basanti coming out of me. I would have been compromising. My career would have gone somewhere else had I said yes and done that film. But I said no, and I didn't. Because I was very clear that at any cost, I'm not going to do work that I'm not happy about. So if there's a turning point in my career, that's the turning point. That day when I said no to Bhatt Sahab, and he was sweet enough to accept that with a lot of grace. And we eventually went on to work together in Dil Hai Ke Manta Nahi. So that day was actually the turning point for me. And since then, I've only done films that I'm really happy about. Still, some of them have worked and some of them haven't. But they're still all my mistakes, which I own. And I think that each of the films that I've done, which may not have worked also, has been a big learning experience for me. I've learned a lot from my mistakes. And what I am today is a result of all of that. My successes, my failures, everything put together has brought me here where I am. And I value my failures actually as much as my successes, because my failures have been my biggest learnings in life. So a turning point would be, 89, 90, somewhere there. Well guys, it was really nice talking to you. I want to thank all of you for the warm welcome that you've given me. And, it's been a real pleasure, coming here today and interacting with you guys. Real pleasure. Thank you so much, and thanks so much always for the support that you've given me and the love that you've given me. Thank you guys. Lots of love. Bye.